Hi, and welcome to CoupleTales.life, the colorful shades of grey. Now, this topic, let's not even crack up about this, but what the subscribers written to us is, does having fights in a relationship mean that it's not a good relationship? I don't even know where to start.
I loved this question.
Totally.
I think it was, sometimes the simplicity of the question is so underestimated and underrated, and we don't even. And that's why I'm very thankful to the person who gave me this question, because it's really something that we don't think about. It's so simple, yet it's so important, because it is conventionally that is what people believe.
Bingo,
right?
yeah.
That oh my God, how much you all fight, and it's just it's not
Unhealthy
a good relationship.
and all
It's
that.
unhealthy, and so
Totally.
why were you cracking up?
Because in any relationship, it cannot be devoid of an argument or disagreeing and fights or whatever. And it's natural that you live with, and for somebody to actually bring it out,
Yes.
which I could never really think of it. I could just not think
But
about
we're just
it.
going through it all the time, right? Yeah. It's true. It's true. But the interesting part about this question is that, of course, again, as I said, I will not answer these, because really my right is maybe you're wrong. But having said that, what is wrong in fighting, right? Like, and also, why do you fight? Right? There is a reason when a person actually sometimes is so exhausted, or so has tolerated so much, has compromised so much, has not expressed, have not felt heard, etc., etc., etc. And then what happens is you like burst like a volcano, correct?
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. The other part of it is that okay, so we have differing points of views, and we are not reaching the conclusion of I'll agree to disagree. But per se, if you tell me that is fighting in a relationship unhealthy, so like I'm scared to give that answer. I have the answer within me, but I don't want to. I'm tempted to, but I won't. But it's a good thing to evaluate. Like in one of our episodes, we spoke about why it is important to express emotions. There is a connect of that to this episode too, because it is about again, is there some conditioning, some association in your head which says don't fight, it's bad, and that is okay. But is it then, again I'm saying, stopping you from expressing, or stopping you from actually saying what you want to say? Or is it making you scared? Or is it telling you that because it is not it will be perceived as not a healthy relationship, I will just not get into it? I know people who may have actually made wrong choices because of this perspective. Right? Yes. And not knowingly. It's not, it's hard. It's not knowingly, but it is a lot of conditioning that happens. And they say that, oh my God, but I didn't. So instead of, what happens is that I think somewhere we change the track. So now I really believe in growth. So I would say, okay, so why am I fighting? And I would go there and I would say, okay, so if this is a problem, then if this is a community, and honestly, we've done enough episodes saying this, like listen, communication, listening, emotions, expression, and somewhere they will all have a common thread. It will be in different situations because we are addressing like questions, but there is a common thread, to this whole thing. So you believe what you want to believe, but also understand what is that belief making you do, or what have you become because of that belief Like, I know a lot of parents also say that, no, I will not fight in front of my children, right? It is just something. And then sometimes, I don't know, I mean, I'm just giving one example. And
Sure.
what happens is that suddenly you have very unconsciously passed on what? That it's not healthy to have a fight. And when the child actually grows up and then says, oh my God, if I am fighting, that means this is not okay, this is not good. They haven't even explored the relationship sometimes, or you run away, or it's like it's a conflict in your head. So you say, I will not go there, instead of understanding, how do I manage this? How is it, what is it making me do? Right? So like when Aryan was young and Debu and I, there will always be one Debu somewhere. So when Debu and I used to have fights, and we both have loud voices, we are very strong-headed, we have very clear perspectives. Most of the times they don't match. And when Aryan used to be there, I actually once had this conversation with him, and I said, you know what, don't look at it as a fight. Because what is a fight? It's loud voice, it's sometimes abusive.
Differing views.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I said. I said, what you need to understand is that it's something that we both have very strong views
Convictions,
on,
yeah.
and we have a different way of looking at things. And the good part is, neither of us is telling either of us to compromise on that. So sometimes it's just a debate, and you know what, and you walk away and you say, okay, you believe what you want to believe. And this is like, I'm not talking about a fight, right?
Yeah,
like I'm just giving an example.
Which is where I was coming from. So, because when you say fight in this context, it's more like you're deferring views, and in the heat of the moment, maybe, that you're, and we're not talking about the fight which is extreme of taking a very negative connotation, but more about saying that, hey, and rightfully so, because would any two people ever agree on everything? Is that even possible?
No, it's not, right?
Correct.
And
Yeah.
if you are, that means I don't know, are you thinking for yourself? Right?
Yeah.
So it's then a different place to be in. But the thing is, like, that's what I mean, that if there is fighting, then why is it that we are not ever thinking about things like, why are we fighting? How do I actually communicate? How do I actually listen? What is this that keeps happening? Are we fighting about the same thing all the time? Then is it something that needs to be looked at, and are we looking at a problem which is actually not a problem? Is the answer. I think there is so much that the perspectives that you can look at it with. There are so many different perspectives, but it's, it's this labeling, we then get into a box, and then you're compromising for something which I don't even know if it's nourishing, or it's actually productive, or it works. And see, as we grow with the modern times, with the changing nuclear families, etc., I think there are a lot of advantages, no? I think we should enjoy those advantages, right? Earlier, in a joint family where everybody thought, "Arey, iska bahu," you couldn't speak up, you couldn't. So, and what is wrong in actually expressing?
So, Ketu, just before we wind up, there's something that occurred to me when you mentioned this, was that, so is fighting one of the ways that it also brings out what is really running in your mind, okay, and helps navigate at least the relationship in a more constructive way forward?
Is one of the perspectives.
Okay.
Like, if you decide, because I always say that own it, start with your own growth, look at it from what you are doing. Yes, of course, but I'm also saying that labeling it is not a nice thing to do, and also the consequences that you face, because you're saying, I will not have a fight. Like, disagreements is what is going to break your relationship, instead of you saying that I will take a stop to actually see, why am I fighting? That's what I'm saying. Other issues repeated, should I
The
look
trigger
at it
factor.
differently?
Yeah.
So then you don't go into that because you're so fixed with the thought of my relationship is not healthy because I keep fighting. My relationship, but you will go out of it if you try to go out of it. And personally, I mean, I think from the tone that I've used and how I've spoken about it, I think there is a pretty much the answer that if you feel from me, you will get it. But I really feel that a lot of times when you don't feel heard, when you don't express, when you feel you've compromised a lot, when you feel like very, there are like martyrs people, like, who will say no, and I've sacrificed and I've done this. Those are the things which, I don't know, I rather have a fight.
At least it reaches a conclusion somewhere or
Yes,
somewhere.
and also don't behave in a manner where every conversation is pushed to a degree where every time either partner, both partners can only communicate after that eruption of a volcano. That means have you probably got used to only communicating through the fight? Because that is communication. When you're fighting, you are actually expressing problems that you have, which you are helplessly saying, please solve. So, have you pushed each other so much that the only way you're communicating is through this eruption of a volcano and fight. And if that is, then even now or whenever you feel like, there is a time to say, okay, so it could be a rich experience. Let me figure it out. But there's a reason, right, why you erupt like a volcano in a relationship. And that should also be evaluated. It can't just be,
look at it one dimension and
unidimensional. It's unhealthy. It's not like that. You're not going to take an antibiotic and stop fighting. Right?
I think this is great. And I think somewhere, thanks to the subscribers, the kind of queries and the questions that are coming to us, I think is helping a lot of people, and I speak for myself definitely, to evaluate things or relook at things that we are so conditioned with, and a lot of things, the way we look at it right now. And I think it is thanks to all of you that we've had to, relook at a whole lot of things, and it's enriching us and making us grow. So thank you. Please do write to us. Keep writing to us. Subscribe to the channel coupletales.life, the colorful shades of grey. This is Vivek Kapoor signing off.
And this is Geetu Purkayastha. But I just want to make a last small point, and that is that a fight normally erupts because there's something simmering below. So if you take care of what is simmering below, maybe that eruption may not need to happen, right? So it's like a step before. So thank you so much for listening to us every week. We really appreciate it, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Geetu Purkayastha. Bye.